Sorry, technical difficulties, but welcome back. Welcome in to Tuesday Talks with Tonia. I am Tonia Gibbons, the author, creator, curator of Tuesday Talks with Tonia. It's a platform for women where we are reaching, teaching, transforming, and impacting lives for not only women, but for our communities, for our families, for our neighbors and friends. And today we're in a new season, so welcome August. Today is August the 5th. And our topic today is the other side of justice with my special guest, Charlotte Garnes, who is the executive director of Reinforce and also Redemption House. Welcome, Charlotte.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we can't wait to talk about this subject. This subject is near and dear to her heart, and it's slowly becoming one that's near and dear to my heart because she puts me to work sometimes in this place. But when you think about justice, justice is very broad, very wide. There's so many layers and levels to justice, and we're talking about the other side of justice. So, Charlotte, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Redemption House and Reinforce and what they do, and then we'll get into this conversation.
Okay, so I am Charlotte Garnes. I'm the executive director of Reinforce. Reinforce, we started out, I'll say that, as a nonprofit providing workforce development to people coming out of prison and or jail. And then that spiraled out of control in a good way.
Yeah.
Because once I relocated to Augusta, I began to see there was such a huge gap in services and for needs of women who were coming out of prison or jail for housing. And so with that in mind, I partnered with the New Way of Life out of LA, and I purchased a home to offer supportive housing for women coming out of prison or jail. And so hence Redemption House was born.
That's awesome. And so what made you take that route? So we'll go back a little bit and share a little bit of your story and your journey. And because I know it, but I want people to hear, because you don't do this just for, you're not searching for a dollar as a nonprofit. You're not doing this just for, name and recognition. This is truly a passion for you. And why is that?
So back in 2009, I was a licensed therapist and I had my own business. So I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been someone who understood, in order for Black women to have a space or whatever, we had to create our own. So for me, I was an entrepreneur and I had a counseling practice. I was a licensed therapist, and at that time, I had hired some people who did some false billing, and hence, since it was my business and my license, when they got caught up, I got caught up too. So for me, I served 46 months in a federal prison, and from there, that's where my passion was born. I've always, being a therapist, I knew I always wanted to do something to help people who look like me.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was a therapist to youth, what they call at-risk youth, Black and brown youth who look like me, because mental health was something that we, as Black folk, we don't talk about that.
No. That's taboo.
Exactly.
It's taboo.
So I knew I wanted to, that was something I wanted to cultivate and hone in on, because I did undergrad at Georgia Southern, and then I relocated to Charlotte, and I began to do a lot of work prior to me relocating to Charlotte. I was at the Fulton County Juvenile Court. I did my internship there, and what I noticed was it was a lot of Black people who looked like me, but a lot of the therapists and a lot of the services that was being provided was for that they didn't look like us. And part of my question to my professor at the time was how do they expect Black youth to have conversations with people who don't look like them?
Yeah.
So she was a Black woman, and she was like, "Miss Garnes, that's a good question." And she was like, "So hence, you know what you need to do." So from there, I relocated and I got my master's. So for me, I always knew that I wanted to cultivate a space for our people, whatever that looked like, youth or adults, to be able to feel welcome, to feel home, to feel like they can be authentically themselves, with whatever that looked like. And as you said, being that mental health was such a taboo, it was something that I had a passion for, because in my mind, I'm an analyzer, and and anybody that knows me know I overthink. I overthink everything. So it's kind of like, what makes people tick? And for our youth, what was making them tick? Why are we considered at risk? Why are we considered low class? So why are we considered ghetto? And things like that. So for me, it became my passion. So just the passion from the youth and mental health to my own lived experience. It was like, I still want to help. I still want to cultivate a space for our people. And now, being that mass incarceration has impacted so many Black and brown people, I'm still like, okay, I still need to be doing this work for our people. So
And I think too, the piece you said about lived experience, because a lot of times it's easy for me to tell other people what to do when I haven't even been in their shoes. I don't know what their bed feels like. I don't know what their discomfort feels like. And so for somebody who has lived experience, you come from a place of understanding, a place of, hey, I've been there, I've done that.
Most definitely.
I'm on the same level as you are. But I am coming to help you in a way that's not judgmental.
Exactly.
I'm not looking down on you. I'm trying to help you be better. And so from a woman, a Black woman standpoint, when you think about you trusted somebody in your business.
Yes.
You gave them complete control of whatever they were doing.
That was mistake number one.
Right.
Yes.
But it cost you.
Yes. And I think we as Black women, and this is a whole nother conversation.
Right.
That wasn't on some of the things you sent me, but let's dive deep for a second. Because we wear so many hats.
Yeah.
And because, you know, sometimes we're burning the candle at both ends, we think we have people around us
that we trust,
and that, oh, she's got my back, and this, oh, honey, no, they didn't. So for me, it was a hard lesson to learn, because when you go through that process, you lose everything. Like, I literally lost everything.
Wow.
Everything.
And that was one of my questions. So what was the effect on you personally and professionally?
Professionally, I'll take that. Professionally first, I lost my license, of course. I literally lost my license, lost my business, lost my freedom. The stigma that comes with it, because even in the sense of, you know, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina living at the time, and having the business and having the people, the professional people around you, and the professional accolades and all of that. But when you go through that, you really find out who your people are, and you're stripped of everything. So professionally, it was like I lost my license, lost professional people, lost professional status, the accolades, all of that was stripped. But then on a personal note, outside of like my family, they stuck with me during that time, and some very close friends stuck with me during that time, and I can count them on one hand. Outside of that, just imagine everything else is gone, and above everything else, I think people don't think about this. Your sanity, your mental health. That's the first thing that leads you, because it's like, what the heck am I gonna do? Like, what is this gonna be? How did this happen to me?
The embarrassment, the
stigma, yes, all of that. So for me, when you talk about what have I lost professionally and personally, it was literally like everything. I mean, because materialistic stuff, but when you talk about your mind, your sanity, and you're engulfed in fear because you don't know. The only thing I knew, I'm not gonna lie, the only thing I knew about prison was Oz. I was like, Lord Jesus, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have Alabisa come follow me somewhere. Like, Lord Jesus, but it's like you don't know because you're not prepared for it. I mean, who literally puts on their resume, I want to be a prisoner? You know what I mean? Like,
nobody.
So for me, it's literally like you start to play these mind games with yourself.
Yeah.
And so you lose the image and the persona that I had prior to prison.
Yeah.
I lost that.
And I've built this. I've gotten my degrees.
Oh.
I'm educated. I'm, a business owner, an entrepreneur, like all these great things that I've done, and now I'm reduced to
a number. And the crazy part for me was I grew up in South Georgia. I grew up in a small town called Lumber City, Georgia, like one stoplight, small town. And so with that, like my family, specifically my mom and my great-grandfather, always instill education. Education in the South is always our ticket out, our way out. We know that to be the case. So when you have that, and it's like, because the ironic part for me was the education was what the judge used against me to sentence me, because at the time I was working on my first PhD.
Okay, now, come on now.
I was working on my first PhD.
Not bragging, but.
Not bragging at all, but was working on my first PhD, but he said I was too educated not to have known. I should have known better. So from there, that's how the sentencing.
Wow.
They look at those types of things. If you're educated, what type of home you grew up in, if you have a history of mental health, if you have like these socioeconomic things that we as Black people are already like cut out of from the very beginning. So, but that was one of the things
that you use it against me.
Exactly. So from there, it's like, when you think about it, like, how do you rebuild yourself? How do you come out? As you said, having all of this to having this number now, not a social. And when you go into incarceration, that's how you're supposed, like, they teach you, they tell you like your number, and I hate to use this word, but your inmate number, and that'll be the only time I'll use that word. But your number is like your social. So when you hear that number, like, and I mean,
that's how they identify you.
Exactly. And it's been since 2017. I exited incarceration 2017. And I still remember my number, 56608-056.
Wow.
That's like your social.
And that's like ingrained in your brain.
It's ingrained.
That, here I am reduced to this number, not my name, not, who my mom or dad raised me to be, not, who I am to my friends and family, but I'm reduced to this number.
Exactly.
Based on my education, which was weaponized against me. And we're always pushing for kids to be educated, to get as much education as possible. But then for that to be able to be used against you, that just seems so oxymoron-ish.
And that's how you have to describe it, because, and when we look at the system within itself, because for me, prior to incarceration, it's like, education, and I know I grew up in the South. I know how the South look at me, specifically in, the South parts of Georgia. I know how they look at me, but for it to be blatant in your face, it's like, it for the confirms, seals the deal for you. Because another young lady that was my billing specialist, who didn't look like you or I, whereas I got 60 months, she got 18 months. So was she the one who actually committed the crime? Yes, she was the billing specialist, the ringleader.
But you got more time than she did.
Exactly. So, and that was because, from what the judge was saying, was because I chose to take my case to trial. And because, again, these are and I'm sharing this so people can understand, so people can understand how the legal system works.
Right.
How the odds are already 9 times out of 10 stacked against us, because the push is for plea deals. The push is for, let's just go ahead and give you this time. Let's just go ahead and give you this sentence. Let's just go ahead and give you this conviction, and you be okay with it. So for me, thinking that the justice system is, because my major was criminal justice, it is a system that was set up to I'm not even going to say to help, but to do what it says,
Right.
to be just was not.
Right.
So, yeah.
And we see that every day, not just with women, black women, but across this nation, especially
Yes.
people of color.
Yes.
People of color do not get the same support and anything through the justice system. We are the underdogs.
Always, and we say this in the movement space because the work that I do, we talk about this a lot. Like the justice system is doing exactly what was created to do for us as a people.
Yeah.
We talk about justice system being a modern day slavery, the free labor is a constant. People asking now why there are more prisons than institutions, educational institutions.
Yep.
Why are our black and brown youth being the school to prison pipeline is established in the third grade based off of a reading level, all of those things.
Yep.
So it's like when we say that, it's literally like saying the justice system is doing what it was set up to do, because this is another way to keep us in bondage and to keep us enslaved. So,
and that's the sad part about it. And you try to educate and shed light, but enough people aren't speaking truth to power, and then we don't have allies, the right allies, because you really need allies in this space. Did you find any allies when you returned home?
The ironic part is with the allies, I in the beginning, I was like, you know what, these are just my group of people that I want to work with, that I want to fight for, that I want to have in these spaces. And those people were people who were just as impacted, and it was very limited.
Yeah.
But as I began to do the work, and as I began to become more educated on the systems at play and things of that nature, one thing that I do realize, and I am a proponent and an advocate for, is allies.
Yeah.
You need a sense of allyship in this movement space, because what I found is there are going to be times and places and people that can get into spaces that I cannot.
That's right. That's right.
And so when that happens, I need to ensure that the person that I've sent or we've agreed you are going to speak for Reinforce or our people, you know what to say.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You're really there on my behalf.
On my behalf. And that's one of the things for me when we talk about allyship and we're talking about allies, is I want to make sure that we are focused on the same mission.
Yeah.
We're focused on the same purpose.
Yeah.
And because one of the things you said earlier is the passion, and people say that all the time, like, girl, when you talk, I hear your passion.
Yeah.
Like, I see your passion, because I don't do this for money. I don't do this for the accolades. I do this because this is my life.
Yeah.
Like, I can't decide, oh, tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm not going to wake up a felon.
Right.
I can't decide that. There's no way I can decide, unless Trump makes a way to pardon me. I can't decide that. You know what I mean? So for me, it's literally like, this is my life.
Yeah.
And so for me, I want to make sure that the people that I am representing and that are enhanced allies representing me and my people, you are moving and doing what you need to be moving and doing the way I need you to be moving and doing in the way we need for you to be moving and doing.
We don't need you to just be, oh, I'm going to be helpful, and don't be passive.
No, I don't need you to be helpful.
No, just we need you to do work. We need you to make things happen. We need you to speak on our behalf.
Yes.
Boldly, loudly.
Yes, and then too, to educate the masses.
Yeah.
Because there's still so many people, it's still so many of us that are still left in the dark.
Yeah.
Based on like what's going on, and could be their situation as well, because what I'm finding here in this area is there are still so many impacted people whose voices are still silent.
Yeah.
And for me,
How?
Like exactly.
How?
I'm like shocked.
Yeah.
I'm like, what you quiet for?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and people, and my mom, she laughs at me all the time, because she's like, girl, you just got a fire. And I'm like, what they gonna do to me?
Right. They can't do that.
They've already felt like they've done the worst thing
that they could
to
do
me. So what
Yeah.
can they do to
Yeah.
me now? Like
Yeah.
outside of, whatever, but
Yeah.
like, what can they do to me? So for me, it's literally like helping people to understand, like, you have a voice.
Yeah.
You have a purpose.
Yeah.
And your life and your experience is that voice and is
Yeah.
that purpose. And to be able to speak that and not to be so silent, to not to be so fearful around it, and to not be fearful about it.
Yeah.
And to just be able to move, because, and somebody had to tell me that as well, because your voice could be the only message that someone like you needs. And so for me, I'm spiritual. So for me, that's my assignment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why he's
Yeah.
had me to go through the things that I've gone through, because I see,
Yeah.
I hear, I know,
Yeah.
I understand, and I embrace that.
And you're doing.
And I'm doing, exactly.
And you're doing. And I think that's the thing too. A lot of people talk about it but aren't about it.
Yeah.
They talk a lot of stuff, and they put on their game face, and they say all the right things, but at the end of the day, there's not compassion,
Exactly.
or passion,
Exactly.
or movements,
Yes.
or really solid help.
And you know, with those type of people, sometimes what I found is that they cause more harm than good. And when we talk about prison, we talk about the nonprofit industrial complex. We talk all those things. To me, when I hear those things, I hear trauma.
Wow.
That's the therapist in me. But I hear trauma.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people who think they have the best interests at heart, in actuality, you're harming someone.
Yeah.
And to me, I equate it to where you're setting them back. And what people need to realize is, you don't have to be behind bars to be in a prison.
You sure don't.
So for me, it's like when I see some of the things that I see, and I hear some of the things that I hear, and I observe, specifically here, I observe some of the things that I observe. It's like, you're causing more harm than good, and we're expecting people to function.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, and speak a little bit about that, like when you're serving and you're trying to help people and you're making an impact, what are some of the challenges that justice impacted individuals, so from housing to employment to just rebuilding their lives, like it's so much that they have, in my opinion, and I've always said this, that yes, the justice system get their time, and they say once you do your time, you're done. But no, you're going to do time for the rest of your life.
Oh no,
like it's.
And see, people think that like, oh, you've done your time, you should be good or whatever. No. There's over 48,000 what we call collateral consequences on someone who holds a conviction.
48,000.
48,000. And some of those things we talk about housing. So a collateral consequence is based off of my conviction. When I go to apply for an apartment and they run my background check, like I'm off paper, I'm out of prison, but I still have a background. That's a collateral consequence. Another collateral consequence that we are now starting to educate our population about at Reinforce is the ability to vote. That's another collateral consequence. Also, a huge collateral consequence that we're seeing a lot here in Augusta, and we're actually going to be partnering with Reform Alliance at the end of this month to bring conversations around probation and parole and fines and fees.
Because that's a lot.
Oh, that's
a lot.
That's a whole nother.
That is a whole nother
Tuesday.
Because that is so sad that these people come out. I've paid my time in prison, but then I come back out and I have to figure out how to get a job because I have a background.
Yes.
Then I have to find out if I can find housing. Then I still have to report to a parole officer, pay fines and fees, and
God forbid if I have a family.
Right.
If I literally have a family and I'm supposed to be the breadwinner, or I'm supposed to be a contributing partner to this relationship and to this situation, I got housing, I got basic living needs, food, clothing, being able to get to and fro work. I got kids, and now I got probation and parole, so those are some of the collateral consequences that we talk about that people seem to forget.
Yeah, they do.
That, hey, you still have to deal with this after release.
Right, because it's hard for a regular average individual that does not have a record
exactly
to find employment, to find housing, to find a suitable job that will pay me enough to pay for the things I'm responsible for. But then you add in that justice impacted piece, and it's just a whole, and we wonder why recidivism is so high.
Is what it is. One of the things that we discuss at Reinforce, and we do this when we have our cohorts, and we work with our women, we work with our men, and we talk to them. One of the things that we talk about and we focus on, and we get them to understand, and we want to push it more in the community, is when we talk about reentry, so much of that responsibility is placed on us as the justice impacted individual. So if the expectation is for me to get out, get a job, get housing, get these things in place or whatever, and I'm doing that, at what point is it the community's responsibility to, I'm not saying for a free handout, but to just come aid
alongside
and assist. So with that, we really want to start cultivating relationships and conversations around reintegration, because that responsibility should not just be placed on the justice impacted individuals, specifically if they're doing everything that they exactly
doing their
if
part.
They're filling out 12 job applications a day, but every job employer or every employer is saying we don't deal with people with backgrounds. We don't do that. And that's how Reinforce was born out of my personal situation. So for me, those are conversations we're guiding to have, to get the community involved, to say we're not wanting a handout, we're just wanting an opportunity, a fair opportunity to be able to bring our skill set, to bring the things that we have,
because
our
we
greatness.
Are
exactly.
You are skilled. They're talented people.
Yes.
And I look at it, and I don't know if this is correct or not, but like the blue collar, white collar crimes versus, the hardcore criminals. But they don't make a distinction when you come out. It's just you have a background.
Exactly. And the thing about it is the only time that there may be a distinction of if it was violent or if it some people may be on the registry. Those are kind of the only times that a distinction is made. But even in that, that's contingent upon the job, right? So it's not even, you're not a violent person, so let me put you over here. You have a background.
You have a background.
Trash.
Yeah, you have a background. And that's the sad part, about it, because the industries that are in this community, I'm speaking for Augusta, the Richmond County area, the CSRA, when I think about, okay, somebody has a background, but they can't cut grass for the city of Augusta. Somebody has a background, but they can't, be, I'm not sure what the technical term is, but housekeeping at a hospital.
Exactly.
There's something that people can do, and then they shouldn't even just be reduced to those jobs.
Exactly.
I mean, it just shouldn't be that way.
And one of the things that for me, because again, my baby was born, Reinforce was born out of my own experience. And prior to my incarceration, I had a career. So I've always known the importance of having a career and being able to bounce back, or even to have some skill set that even if I have to pivot, I know how to pivot and I'm going to do it. And it's something's going to come with me pivoting, right? So being able to work alongside of other people who are just as impacted, who may hold a conviction, but you know what? You have a certain set of skills, like what he says in Taken. I got a certain set of skills.
I like Taken. I love Taken.
But being able to tell them that, like, you got some skills, so let's hone in on those skills. Let's grow those skills. Let's bloom those skills, and let's pivot, because that's what it's all about. Because when we start having those conversations, and not knocking anybody that work fast food, not working anybody that work janitorial services, because even in those things, there's an opportunity for you to achieve and excel, because that's when you start looking into entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
And you start looking at things like that. But when you start having those conversations, conversations and truly getting people to see their worth and what they bring, that's when we start having the capacity to talk about generational wealth, looking into franchising and things like that, to the point of where not only are you able to take care of yourself, but then you're able to leave your children things. You know, you're able to, you know, be self-employed and, oh, I'm taking this week off to take my family work. That's when we start having these conversations. And then even taking it a step farther, for me, and reinforcing the work that we do, everybody that I try to employ, you got to have a background. You have you have to have been impacted some way, and that's it. So we start having, we must, as just as impacted people, must look at ourselves. And I was having a conversation with a brother earlier today, and he was saying how someone told him, like, they need us more than we need them. True. Like, you, even if we're talking about philanthropy and nonprofit giving and things like that, all of these philanthropists now, they're wanting to be woke. They're wanting to be socially just as in tune. Okay, but you can't be socially just as in tune without the people. That's right. So, how you gonna do that? How you gonna do that without me? So, how does that work? So it's getting people to understand and know your worth. And getting people to understand and know, like, even though, you know, you may have this blemish on your record, it still doesn't define who you are. Right. But let's take it and let's pivot. Let's pivot some other way to the where you are excelling, and not only are you excelling, you're able to open the door to let other people in. And that's the thing too. When you are able to get to a certain level or be able to do certain things, you should reach back and pull others in. It is a must. It is. For me, it is a must to do this, because I can recall being incarcerated, and like, it was so much stuff that I was exposed to that I saw. And growing up, where I grew up, I didn't deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that we had the best life, but it was just certain things I wasn't accustomed to. And then just like the life that I built for myself. It was just that I don't do that. Like this ain't my cup of tea, baby. Like I don't like exactly like this is what you. So even in understanding that, my prayer was, Lord, if you let me leave this place with my mind, because I literally saw people lose their mind, I can only imagine. They could only cope with prison by taking medication. I didn't want that to be me. So my prayer was, Lord, if you allow me to leave this place, if not more sane, just as sane as I came in, whatever you want me to do, whatever you need for me to do, I will do. I'm gonna do it. I ain't gonna question you. And so for me, that's what I felt. So in doing that, one of the things that I know I needed to do was I couldn't just walk the walk. I had to talk the talk. Everything had to line up. And so for me is, now that I'm in spaces, I'm bringing people with me. I'm not coming alone. That's right. And what I tell people, you know, when they may see me by myself, and I always give my team their accolades. This is what you see. Because you don't see the team of people that I have behind me. That's right. You don't see the team of people that you know, they're putting in just as much work, if not more. You know what I mean? For the cause and for the people, to the point of where, like, I'm giving my team my shout out now, Crystal Ware and Shaniqua King. I'm giving them, they are in LA. Because you know, for me is I can't be as passionate as I am for this work if I'm not transferring that to them. I got to transfer. They need to be as well. When we talk about leadership and we talk about servant leadership, for me is I'm here to do what he wants me to do, which is to serve his people. But at the same time, I have to be a steward of my gifts. And you have to empower others and educate others. And when we think about Jesus, That's exactly what he did.
That's the example.
I mean,
That's the example.
I don't want to say what he wanted to do or whatever, but I've never read where he took his gifts and he kept them.
Right.
He just kept them, and it was I.
No.
He was more so, I want to teach you.
That's
So
right.
when it's my time to depart
and
from
when
here,
I'm not here.
and when I'm not here, this is now your
or
cup.
even if we're
Yes.
still here, I may be over here, you may be over there, and we need to still
That's
be in
it.
alignment. We still need to be doing the same work. We need to be talking the same way. So
And that's
yes,
it. And
yeah.
so that's why for me, the servant leadership component is part of my genetic makeup, I feel.
Yeah.
Because I can remember growing up seeing my mom, like when it came for voting time and things like that, my mom would be the one driving people to the voting polls and things like that. So I saw that growing up, and that's what I knew.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like this. Yeah, reinforce may be my baby, but it's not mine.
Right,
Right.
it's not yours,
So
right.
for me,
Yeah.
that servant leadership is part of who we are,
Yeah.
because it's not just us. Is the people we're bringing along. We're training up leaders.
Yeah.
We're training, and that's the power of base building. We're
Yeah.
building a
Yeah.
base.
Yeah.
So when people come to Augusta, when people Georgia Justice Project, Reform Alliance, anybody else
Right.
that comes to
Right.
Augusta,
Right.
they gonna know like, oh no, those people over there, they about their
They
stuff.
doing it.
They
about
doing
their
it.
business.
They about their business.
Yes.
But yeah, so.
And so what do partnerships look like? You mentioned Georgia Justice Project.
Georgia
And
Justice
others.
Project.
What does partnership look like? Because even from Reinforce workforce development, so you have to literally go out into the community and talk to employers to say, hey, this is what we need from you, and there is a benefit to hiring justice impacted individuals.
So when we talk about the partnership component, that's like a catch-22, because, and I say that because on one hand, I'm social justice. I'm social justice reform. So whereas some people are like, oh no, I don't deal with probation and parole. I don't work with the DA. I don't work with the courts. For us, I'm like, no, we need those people.
Absolutely.
Again, you heard me talk about allies
Absolutely.
early. I need a DA like Jared to be able to say, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna lock this person up, but maybe I need to refer them to this program.
Right. That's right.
That's what progressiveness looks like.
Yeah.
So when we talk about things, Georgia Justice Project, I love them because they started the Second Chance Desk over here in Augusta.
Yep.
So many people are calling us now like, hey, how can we get this expunged? Somebody was like, we Reinforce help them with an expungement.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sure Reinforce didn't. We might have been the bridge to get
We
you to
might
the
have-
people.
We might have connected you to somebody.
Yeah, but Reinforce don't do expungements. But we partner with the people to do that because when you call Reinforce, we want to be the people that we may not do it, but let's put you in the right space of the people who do that. So when you talk about partnerships, when someone is on the outside looking in, it may be a partnership like Bunny and Clyde or Whitney and Bobby, like how they work. How does that work?
How does that
work?
It
works.
Don't even matter.
but it works, right? Because every partnership is unique. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And then we're taking it from a place of we're wanting our people who enter into Reinforce to leave out whole some way.
Yeah.
And one thing that I love about my staff, and we talk about this all the time, is everything ain't cookie cutter.
That's right. It's not.
Everything is not cookie cutter.
Not, especially in this space.
Especially in this space. We may have served the same amount of time, but I guarantee you the way we grew up and the way we did our time was not the same. And also, too, reintegration, our process wasn't the same. So being able to hone in on that and to pick that up, because what we may do with you, we may not do with the next person. So, and that makes our partnerships so much more unique because everybody don't need a Georgia Justice Project. Everybody don't need Zanita Craig at Department of Community Supervision, you know what I mean? But I can guarantee you everybody needs mental health.
Yes.
I can guarantee you everybody's going to ask me about housing.
Yes.
I can guarantee you everybody's going to say, okay, when they hear and they see, well, when am I going to be able to vote? You know what I mean? To have those conversations. So the partnerships are unique, but they're a necessity.
Absolutely.
Because Reinforce can't do this work by ourselves.
Nobody can do it by themselves.
And the crazy part is our area, the CSRA region, and I say this all the time, we are number 2 when it comes to people reintegrating. When people coming out of prison, we rank number 2. Okay. Fulton County is number 1. We rank number 2. It's typically between us and Columbus, and I think for the last couple of years, we beat Columbus.
Wow.
And then it's either Columbus or DeKalb.
Oh, wow.
So when we talk about that, it's more it's more than enough people here for us to work with. And we're not going to be able to touch everybody. The one thing that I pride myself on is I do know as a formerly incarcerated Black woman that the way I did my time and the way a formerly incarcerated Black man did his time, totally different. Which means my needs coming out are totally different from yours, brother. And that's okay.
And it seems to me that people are more prone to help a woman than they are a man.
You think?
I think.
Really?
It just, I mean, maybe from like a personal perspective, perspective, and from they feel like a man should pull himself up by his bootstraps and figure it out. Whereas a woman, they'll give a little bit more, compassion or leniency.
But you know what? I think that's ironic because I think it's flipped.
Really?
And the reason why I think it's flipped is because, and brothers, don't get mad when I say this. A man gonna go find somewhere to lay up.
True.
A man is gonna be able to find somewhere to lay his head.
True.
Even if he don't want to deal with Sister Gal for a minute.
Let me go on over here.
Let me go on over here. And 9 times out of 10,
I need somewhere to stay for a little while.
And 9 times out of 10, men, when they are incarcerated, they ride their time with the woman.
Yeah. So she's waiting on him when he get out.
A woman is putting money on his books.
You're right.
A woman gonna make sure he got this taken care of. He got this. He got this. A female, she's typically lost custody of her children.
Yeah.
She's probably gotten into prison because of a man. And so when she gets out, she immediately has to step into the role of mom, sister, wife, aunt, friend, community person, church person, this person. That. A man,
I'm chilling.
He chilling. So for me, I look at it differently. So when I see the men come back and you get out, and 6 weeks later, bro, you dressing better than me. Hey,
we got a problem.
We got a problem. Yeah. So for me, that's kind of what I realized because I've seen being incarcerated.
And that's education for me, and that's education for a lot of us because we really do feel like women get more support, but the reason you started Redemption House is because there was no place for women. There's places for men when you come out of prison, but not for women.
And the thing too, for women, I can again lived experience. I wasn't addicted to substances.
Right.
I mean, I did a little weed back in college, but that's it.
Right. That's not really.
And if I run for office, don't use that against me. But that. And then, like, I wasn't in a domestic violent relationship. I didn't have children.
Right.
So when I got out, it was like
nothing
for me. I wasn't in recovery.
Right.
I wasn't a victim.
Right.
I wasn't ever sexually assaulted, anything of that nature.
Wow.
So for me, it's like someone like me. Where would I go? Thank God for family. You know what I mean?
Right.
Literally, thank God for family. But outside of that, it's like nothing.
Because you're right. If you don't have children, it's really hard to get placed. If you don't have a substance abuse or anything. And when you think about the things that are in our community, there aren't
exactly
any.
So for me, it was like a must.
Yeah.
To like, no, you got to do this. Like literally the clarion call for me. Like, no,
Yeah.
you got to be the one to do this because it's nothing else available. You know what I mean for us here.
And that's so sad. I have compassion, and it just bothers me because I see it all the time in the work that I did when I was in the mayor's office. You just run across all kinds of situations, and even now, post and being a part of nonprofits and being a part of the community, trying to figure out, because people call me for a lot of resources, like, hey, I got a homeless mother and a 12-year-old girl, and I get those calls, and so to be able to have some place that I can refer folks, like, hey, Charlotte over here is doing XYZ. Connect with her, and that's key to any successful thing that we're doing. Anything that we touch should be successful, but it takes partners. It takes all of us. It takes compassion. It takes money.
It does.
So how do you get funding?
So our funding, we thank God for the philanthropists that we do partner with. And I say that because it's not just about them giving money. They're actually changing lives. So for me, and this is the key, I've always built my relationships and my support typically, and I know it's backwards, but I had this conversation with another brother today too, that maybe like on a national and then funnel it down from national to state to local. And for me, a lot of national philanthropists have partnered with me, and I thank God for that. And people, and I know that's a question, like how they able to do, how they because I built partnerships
and relationships,
and I built relationships.
It's not just
it's
transactional.
And the thing about it is, people think when it comes to like building a nonprofit or asking for money, oh, I'm coming to you with my handout. No, it starts with the relationship.
It does. Everything.
It starts with the relationship. I'm not coming to you to ask. The first time I see you, I'm not coming to ask you nothing. I'm coming for a cup of coffee. I'm a foodie. Let's go eat. Anybody that knows me know I love my coffee and I love
to eat.
And I live my food and my lemon drops. Baby, those are the three things.
That's it. That's it.
So if we're going out, that's something we're going to do. We gonna do. If it's morning, we're going to get some coffee and some food. If it's lunch, we're going to get a lemon drop and some food. If it's dinner, we're going to get some food and we're going to get some lemon drops.
Hey, whatever works.
Whatever works. And I'm building that partnership and I'm building that relationship.
Yeah.
So when that ask is coming, and the thing about it is, people ask me, how did you get here? How did you start doing this? And when I tell my story, they're like, oh my God, and they believe in the mission.
Then they want to help.
And
sometimes
they want to help.
Have to ask
and you don't have to ask. And I kid you not, I can say a couple of, maybe like a year and a half ago, I applied for this grant, maybe longer. I applied for a grant and I was told no. And my partner, Desmond, he's, babe, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. He's like, babe, it's going to happen. And I'm like, no, it's not. But I'm keeping my head down. I'm still doing the work. Because one thing that I know about my father is he is a father of abundance. And all I have to do is put it out there.
Yeah, that's right.
And I have a couple of friends. I have a friend of mine. She calls me Esther. She be like, "Girl, you got the Esther favor."
Okay, I need some.
Esther, she be like, Esther, you don't even worry about it, Esther. And like I laugh and joke, but I do say that. Like I do say, like, okay, God, now I'm coming to you with this Esther favor. So I expect you to do this, and this, because I have to remind him of his word.
That's
like,
right.
I have to bring that to remembrance.
You better.
Like,
that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what
you said.
So they told me no, and I kid you not, at the beginning of July, I got an email. Hey, I don't know if you know me, but hey, we want to partner, we want to support. Wait a minute.
You're
now.
Like, hold on, let me make sure.
I called Des and I said, I feel like Mike Jones. He said, you silly. I said, yeah, back then you didn't want me.
now you're all on me.
You're all on me. But I thank God for that
Yeah.
because people see
Yeah.
what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
it's not about the
Yeah.
work. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
about the money.
And
It's
you
not
left it
about
alone. You trusted.
I trusted God.
You like, okay.
Exactly. And so for me, I'm thankful for that. So when we talk about partnerships and philanthropists and the money and the nonprofit, it's literally like when you do the work and your work speaks for itself,
absolutely.
every need will be
met.
provided.
That's right. That's
Everything
That's right.
that you feel like, you know what, I ain't gonna voice it. I'm just gonna keep it in my heart. He's gonna make a way for it. If you're doing your part,
do your part,
and take your hands off, he's gonna do his part. And I stand on that.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, this has been an awesome conversation. We are new season, episode 1 with Charlotte Garnes of Reinforced and Redemption House, the other side of justice. If there's one other thing that you could tell people about justice and how to be helpful in this space, what would it be?
Use your voice. Use your voice. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you've been impacted by the system or not. Use your voice. And the reason why I say if you haven't been impacted by the system, you know somebody. You know somebody. Because statistics say 1 in 3. It's a few of us in this room. Y'all know I'm the one. So the people that's in here, I need for you to go tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Because guess what? You know somebody that's been impacted too. So when you do that and you use your voice, that's the only way we build community.
Collective
and you have to be collective.
Yeah.
You have to be collective, and you have to be on purpose. And another thing I would say is be intentional. Be intentional with your time, your talent. Be intentional with your passion. Because again, if you do your part, he's going to do everything else.
All right now. Well, y'all heard it here. So be intentional, be collective, let your voice be heard. We thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. It is a rainy night in Georgia, but we are grateful, and we look forward to seeing you guys in about 2 more weeks. So look for us, follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, Charlotte Garnes, Reinforce. And of course, Tuesday Talks with Tonia Gibbons, you know the drill.
Let me say this, and we are doing a fundraiser. September is Workforce Development Month. We are doing Careers Over Coffee, where we're asking people to give up coffee for a day to make a donation. Visit our Facebook page, is the number 2 Reinforce, our TikTok, our Instagram. Support us, y'all, because this is how we get things done.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having
us
me. Thank you.
And sharing and educating us, because that's what this is about. Educating, impacting, transforming lives.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.